Since 1938, Superman's origin has always been about two worlds, Earth and Krypton. Smallville took that theme and made it personal. Two fathers, two opposing philosophies, pulling Clark in different directions. Jonathan Kent, the farmer with a heart of gold, and Jor-El, the last voice of a dying planet. But when it comes down to it, who really raised Superman? Was it the humble farmer from Kansas who taught him how to be human? Or the voice from Krypton that reminded him he was meant for more? Let's settle this.
You do this, son. You make us proud.
Before Clark ever heard the name Kal-El, before he ever saw the Fortress of Solitude, there was Jonathan Kent, his dad in every way that counted. Jonathan didn't raise a superhero. He raised a son. From day one, Jonathan instilled values that had nothing to do with powers and everything to do with character. Humility, responsibility, restraint. He taught Clark to listen before acting, to protect without pride, and to value life, especially when it's most fragile. Where Jor-El offered destiny, Jonathan offered choices. That difference, it shaped Clark's humanity more than any cosmic prophecy ever could. Think about it. Jonathan's most iconic lessons didn't come in capes and speeches. They came in barns, pickup trucks, and quiet warnings. He was the one who told Clark to keep his powers a secret, not out of fear, but out of a deep understanding of how the world reacts to difference. And it wasn't just about hiding. It was about waiting until Clark was ready to reveal himself. That patience helped form Superman's lifelong restraint and sense of responsibility. And even when he made mistakes, like when he discouraged Clark from playing football or tried to control his destiny out of fear, those moments still came from a place of love. Jonathan was always trying to protect Clark's soul, not just his secret. One of the most defining moments of Jonathan's influence was his death. Unlike Kryptonian threats or alien invasions, Jonathan's heart attack was painfully human. It reminded Clark that all the powers in the world can't stop fate, and that true strength lies in how we carry our losses. That loss shattered Clark, but it also grounded him. It was the catalyst that made him see the value in every life, the pain of every goodbye. Jonathan Kent gave Clark more than rules. He gave him a moral compass. He taught him that being good isn't about grand gestures, it's about daily decisions, about putting others first, about knowing when not to use power. So yes, Superman may be the last son of Krypton, but he was raised in the Kent household. And if the world sees him as a symbol of hope, truth, and justice, that's not Krypton talking. That's Kansas. And that's Jonathan Kent.
Jor-El, your father.
I thought you died!
If Jonathan Kent gave Clark his heart, then Jor-El gave him his purpose. His biological father, though long dead, remained a constant presence throughout Clark's journey through messages, holograms, and the all-knowing voice inside the Fortress of Solitude. Jor-El didn't raise Clark with hugs and heart-to-hearts. He raised him through lessons etched in crystal, trials that tested willpower, and visions of a future only Clark could shape. It was mentorship at a cosmic scale. Cold, logical, sometimes harsh, but never without intent. Without Jor-El's trials, Clark wouldn't have been ready to face Brainiac, Zod, or Darkseid. Jor-El's mission was clear: prepare his son to be a bridge between two worlds. He didn't see Clark as just a man, he saw him as Krypton's legacy. And from the moment Clark activated the fortress, Jor-El began shaping the hero he was always meant to become. Where Jonathan Kent taught restraint, Jor-El demanded transcendence. He pushed Clark to master his powers, to understand the depth of his abilities, and to embrace the weight of his destiny. Jor-El guided him through all of it, not just so he could protect Earth, but so he could become a symbol beyond Earth. But it wasn't always easy. Jor-El wasn't a gentle father figure, he was a force, at times even a tyrant. His expectations were brutal. He often gave Clark ultimatums and tested him with high-stakes, all-or-nothing lessons that seemed more punishment than parenting. And yet, those lessons mattered. Why? Because Superman's greatest battles weren't just against villains. They were against himself, his fear of becoming a god, of losing touch with humanity, of not living up to the legacy his father believed he was destined for. Jor-El's presence forced Clark to ask the hardest question of all: can I carry the burden of being Superman? And over time, Jor-El became more than a voice. He became a compass of a different kind, a reminder that Clark's life wasn't random, that his powers were a gift. Jor-El didn't give Clark warmth, but he gave him wonder. He didn't teach him to be kind, but he showed him how to be great. Krypton's final gift wasn't just power, it was perspective, a higher calling. So while Jonathan raised a boy into a man, Jor-El raised that man into a legend. This duality is what made Clark's transformation into Superman so complex. There were moments when he clung to Jonathan's lessons, choosing compassion over combat, protecting a single life instead of chasing grandeur. And other times, Jor-El's voice pulled him towards something larger, urging him to see beyond Kansas fields and think in global, even cosmic terms. Some of Clark's darkest moments came when these ideologies clashed.
He made sure I'd never forget who my real father is.
When Jor-El's training felt too cold, too ruthless, Clark would retreat to the memory of Jonathan's warmth. But in moments of doubt, when his powers terrified him, or when he questioned his place in the universe, Jor-El's vision gave him clarity. There's no better example than when Clark rejected the fortress. He walked away, angry at Jor-El's manipulations. But eventually he returned, not because he accepted Krypton blindly, but because he chose to integrate it into who he was. The same way he always carried Jonathan's teachings, he began to carry Jor-El's guidance, with balance. That inner conflict, the man of two worlds, is what makes Superman more than just powerful. It makes him human. In the end, Clark didn't choose one father over the other. He learned to carry both. Jonathan gave him his values, Jor-El gave him vision, and the space between them? That's where Superman was born. So, who gets the credit for raising the world's greatest hero? Is it the man who tucked Clark in at night and taught him how to be kind? Or the father who never met him in person, but gave him the keys to a legacy that stretched across galaxies? Truth is, it's not that simple. Because Superman is the product of both. The human heart of Jonathan Kent and the cosmic fire of Jor-El. Together, they didn't just raise a boy, they created a symbol. Together, they created a balance that made Superman unique. Who do you think had the greater influence? Drop your take in the comments. If you love this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. We've got more Smallville deep dives coming your way.